it's just relentless pressure for 90 feet or however long this floor is. And that's a major key to Archbold, and that's how they get so many easy baskets off the forced turnovers for layups.
And when you talk about Archbold, you always have to be wary of those runs. They just like that, in a matter of 2 minutes, they can go on a 12-0 blitz, and you're already looking to each other. What in the heck just happened?
They are so potent, and the beauty for Archbold is it's not always the same guy. They've got 5 guys, all very, very capable. And I'll tell you what, I've been impressed with Zeb Schroeder off the bench. He's done a very nice job. And, then Reimer coming in for his brother's done a great job. And they go 7-8 deep. The Roofer kid can play. And, they barely skip a beat. And, they've got good talent, 7 or 8 people deep. And that's so frustrating when you're at a small school, when you get a handful of kids out and you got to make do with what you have. Hilltop's got a lot of talent, but I think they're slightly outmanned tonight, and I don't think that's a put down of talent. I think that's a compliment to Archbold.
We'll talk more and break this one down when we come back. We'll also meet tonight's starters, and this evening's game gets underway. You're listening to high school boys basketball on WBNO Sports.
Cool,
we've touched on them briefly. Heist, let's begin on Archbold's side. When you're talking about keys for tonight, pretty clear cut.
Play their game, control the tempo, create turnovers with their defense, mix the inside and the outside. Don't take Hilltop lightly, remember Stryker.
Hilltop on the other side, not quite as clear
Well,
cut.
I got a little longer list for Hilltop. They're the decided underdogs, so they use this to their advantage. There's no pressure at all on Hilltop. Play loosey-goosey, play hard, get what you can. I'm sure that's the way they're approaching it. Defend the perimeter shooting, defend the dribble penetration, defend the strong inside game. That about covers that.
A lot of defending.
A lot of pressure tonight on Frazier and Kratzer, I think, inside defensively against Reimer and Broadback. If Frazier and Kratzer can put in a good game defensively, that'll certainly help Hilltop a great deal. Obviously, they're going to have to protect the basketball against Archbold's extreme pressure. They're going to have to put it all together. They're going to have to play 32, not the best minute, not great minutes. They're going to have to play 32 exceptional minutes. Their people are going to have to put it together. This is going to have to be the best game of their careers in summary of all of them, and then they can be successful.
Speaking of 32, we're talking of 32 for Archbold. I think Matt Gehrig has an interesting task tonight, stopping that Keith Roth penetration.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on the Archbold guards, and I didn't mean to negate that, but the Hilltop guards. But I think, quickness-wise, they might be a little quicker than some of the Hilltop guards might be a smidgen quicker than some of the other teams that we've seen against Archbold. That's why I think there's more pressure on the inside game. But, yeah, there's no doubt they had their hands full of Ashelman and Roth on the perimeter, because those kids can flat out play. They can shoot the three, they can penetrate and dump, they can do it all.
Hilltop Archbold, and we will come back and meet tonight's starting lineups in just a moment.
Make Rings Farm.
Tonight, as we are getting set for the number 1 team in Division 3, the Archbold Blue Streaks at 13-0 against the Hilltop Cadets at 5-5. Before we get to the starting lineups, Heist, let's mention a concept here tonight that we're going to have to get used to, at least come to starting this postseason. We've got a officiating crew right now of 3 officials tonight.
Yeah, I know 2 of them. John Holman, who's a veteran, he's been around for a long, long time, and Mr. Marquette, who's a good young official. And
I believe it's Greg, isn't it?
I don't know if it's Greg or Jim. I'm not sure, but we had him a couple years ago in a sectional game when he was just a pup, and I rode him unmercifully the entire game, and he never flinched. He did a great job with it. He's one of the finest young officials around. The third one I don't know.
Like it or don't like it, 3 officials.
Well, I've been talking to some officials about it, as assistant AD, and I'll tell you what, the kids are getting so physical, so strong. The game's so much quicker now than it was 20, 25 years ago that maybe it's time to go to 3 simply because, it's tough for 2 guys to see. The problem is, Andy, as a former coach, finding 3 good officials to work the game. There's not that many officials around Northwest Ohio, and I think that's going to make it tough.
Starting lineups tonight, let's begin with the Archbold Blue Streaks. In the backcourt, Brian Ashelman, a 5'10" senior. The point guard, Keith Roth, a 5'9" senior. At one forward, Sean Roth, a 6' senior. At the other forward, and the power forward at every aspect, Kyle Broadbeck, a 6'3" senior. And starting in the middle tonight, Alex Reimer, a 6'4" senior. Archbold coached by, of course, Mr. Doug Kraus.
For the Hilltop Cadets, who stand at 5-5, under the tutelage of Mr. Steve Brown. At the point, Matt Gehrig, a 5'10" junior. That's the shooting guard. David Chupp, a 6' senior. In the middle, the man in the middle with a lot of load on him tonight, Israel Frazier, a 6'2" senior. At the forwards, Jason Myers, a 6'3" senior. And at the other forward, Ty Krotzer, a 6'2 junior.
We'll get a look tonight and see if we like the 3 official crew. Not that it's going to have any bearing on if they change it or not, if we like it.
Well, I'll tell you what may happen is they may get confused on coverage. You know, this is something new to them, and they've been playing with it off and on through the years. We'll see if they get out of position in their rotations, etc. When you go with 2, it makes a difference, and now you're going to 3, and the rotation's going to be different, etc. There may be a mistake or 2 made simply because they're out of position, not used to 3-man crew, but hey, you got to try it to see if you're going to like it. So let's give them credit for doing it here tonight. We'll see how it works.
Other games tonight in boys action. Wasion's at Napoleon, and Emmanuel Baptist travels to Evergreen. In girls hoops, it's Antwerp at Paulding. Hicksville journeys to Hicksville at Paulding. Antwerp's at Bryan, I beg your pardon. Liberty Center will play host to Stryker, and it's Delphus Jefferson at Wayne Trace. Hilltop in their traveling reds. Archbold in their home whites. We're set to get this thing on tonight. This is the first of 4 contests this week on WBNO Sports. Thursday night, Montpelier will host Bryan in girls action. Bryan at Montpelier Friday, and Eden at Edgerton on Saturday. Israel Frazier jumps for Hilltop. Alex Reimer for Archbold. And it's time to get underway here. Mr. Marquette will toss the ball, and Hilltop will control the opening tap. It's David Chupp, who quickly will hand it off now to Matt Gehrig. Archbold opening man-to-man. Gehrig to the high post. Foul line to Israel Frazier. Frazier gives off to Chupp. Now to the right side to Krotzer. Down low to Gehrig. Extra pass to Myers. Baseline jumper is good. And Hilltop leads 2-0. Very calm and cool on that possession, Ice.
Nice execution of their offense. Got a good shot and bottom of a big basket for Hilltop.
Archbold the other way. Sean Roth, who has caught fire of late. Nice penetration. Bounce pass a little too low for Reimer, but he does get control. Now he'll give off to Roth. Baseline jumper. In and out. No. Strong rebound by Keith Roth. Gets it up. No. Touched by Alex Reimer. And it will belong to the Hilltop Cadets.
Nice effort that time by Roth following his shot, but had a bad angle on the putback.
Hilltop trying to get across, and they do in the full court pressure defense applied by the Archbold Blue Streaks. Hilltop sets up in their offense. Now Chupp gets double teamed, dumps it down low to Krotzer, and they're going to wave it off. An offensive foul is going to go against Ty Krotzer. That'll be number 1 on Krotzer. In fact, that's the game's first tonight.
Krotzer just trying to make something happen. Got his shoulder into him a little bit.
Hilltop 2, Archbold nothing if you're just joining us. Hilltop, they will open man-to-man. Keith Roth to Sean Roth, wing right. Now circling to Reimer, now to the left side to Keith Roth. Posting his broad back off glass. No, good screen by David Chupp. And Hilltop controls the early glass. Gehrig across the timeline to Jason Myers, left side, right back to Gehrig. Gehrig will shoot it, left elbow extended to Israel Frazier. Frazier looking to clear left side to Jason Myers. The left-hander drives and tried to pass it down low to Frazier. Pass is intercepted by Broadbeck, and then his outlet hits the shoulder of Alex Reimer. And Hilltop gets possession back, and Gehrig will give it right back to Archbold as he forced a pass, and Alex Reimer got the steal. Sean Roth spots, shoots for 3, and it's too hard. Rebounded by Hilltop. Good screen. 2 cadets on Kyle Broadbeck that time, Heiss.
Nice fundamental rebounding also by Hilltop as they're screening very well.
Gehrig picks up his dribble, fires right side to Jason Myers, who gets it right back to him. Now to Israel Frazier. Cutting down low is Jason Myers. He has it stripped, tries to shoot over Reimer, partially blocked. Myers will get his own rebound and then runs out of real estate. Tries to get rid of it with a bounce pass, and Brian Ashelman makes the interception. Ashelman now to Roth across the timeline. Look at that quickness around Gehrig. Shot is short, and Archbold opens up cold shooting. Keith Roth got his own rebound, and he was fouled going up with it.
And you've heard of deja vu. This looks a little bit like the striker start. Got good shots and wouldn't drop for him. Again, Keith Roth, good hustle to go after the rebound, drawing the foul.
Keith Roth, the team's leading scorer at just under 16 a game, but all 4 of them average in double figures, with the 5th, Alex Reimer, at about 8 a game. It was on the floor, so Archbold will trigger in. They're moving right to left on your radio, fading and firing and shooting as Kyle Broadbeck, it won't go, and another follow-up chance, this time for Keith Roth. And Archbold continues to have a lid on their end offensively. Hilltop the other way, and Ty Krotzer draws the blocking foul on Alex Reimer on the baseline.
Yeah, nice defense. Reimer slid down very well, but just about a quarter of a step slow getting there to shut the baseline off.
Out of bounds, baseline left to the Cadets. Frazier receives it, 12-footer, and he fills the jumper. Archbold now down in a 4-0 hole with 2.5 minutes gone by first quarter.
And again, Hilltop, loosey-goosey, nothing to lose. They're coming out here and hanging her out.
Archbold 0 for their first 8 from the floor. Broadbeck to Keith Roth, down low to Alex Reimer. Turnaround short, but he got the hometown roll. And Archbold draws blood at 5:10 to play in the first quarter. It's now 4-2. Hilltop again dicing the pressure defense of Archbold. Matt Gehrig with the left hand. Tough shot. He was off balance. Just tried to get it up. It's no good. Sean Roth the other way. 3-on-2. Roth will stop and fire, and it's too strong. Rebounded by Kyle Broadbeck. Now to Asherman. Good dish down low to Alex Reimer and Ty Krotzer. Did they get Frazier?
Take your pick. I think they got Frazier.
Yep. Israel Frazier whistled for number 2. Key call because that would have, or for number 1, I beg your pardon. I was thinking had they got Ty Krotzer, that would have been number 2 on him. Ty Krotzer, however, will sit down, and Todd Moyer, who has played strong of late, Heiss, starting with that Edgerton game.
He played very, very well the Edgerton game. I was impressed with his performance against Edgerton, week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Reimer buries the first free throw to make it a 4-3 Hilltop lead. Archbold coming in far and away the number 1 scoring offense in the NWOAL. 74.5 points per game. The next closest, Delta at 832. Archbold scored 969 on the season, and now they'll create a turnover, taking it away from Moyer. Pass down low from Sean Roth on the low square to Alex Reimer, and Reimer has given Archbold their first lead at 6-4. He has them all, Heiss.
Yep, got all 6 of them. They're taking it inside, jamming it down their throats right now, or trying to.
David Shupp at midcourt to Gehrig, who dribbles across the center circle down to the right deep corner to Todd Moyer. Moyer to Gehrig, who will shuffle it left to the left elbow extended to Chupp, back to the right elbow extended to Moyer, immediately back to Chupp. Chupp wants to go off the dribble and has it blocked out of bounds by Alex Reimer. Reimer 6 points and a couple of blocks here in the first 4 minutes.
Nice move by Chupp on that left wing, and Reimer a nice move to recover and get a piece of the shot.
Chupp triggers into Moyer on the baseline. He's in trouble and then throws it away. Tried to get Gehrig. Instead, it's Keith Roth. Roth kept Gehrig guessing and takes it strong to the goal. And Archbold has scored 8 unanswered. They now lead it 8-4, and they're setting up in their 2-2-1 full court pressure.
4 turnovers for Hilltop early.
Is there a magic number in that category tonight?
You want to stay 15 or below.
Myers from Gehrig shoots and scores. It's 8-6. Kyle Broadbeck wanted the charge. He stood there and took it. No call.
You know, I don't like that no call. That's a charge or a block, one or the other.
3:40 remaining. First quarter, Roth again dribbles around Gehrig, and it's partially blocked by Frazier. Good help side D by Hilltop. 2-on-2. Meyer sets up baseline 12-footer left side. No. Rebounded by Kyle Broadbeck, and Broadbeck is fouled by Todd Moyer in an attempt to get it away from Kyle Broadbeck. For Todd Moyer, that will be his first on the night, and the team's 4th.
It's fun to watch Broadbeck and Frazier, 2 almost identical builds and strengths. It's fun to watch them go at it.
Doug Krause extremely high on Frazier. He saw, I think, the same thing you did, just how hard he plays inside.
I'd take him.
Backdoor Asherman to Reimer. Reimer is cut off, and then in an attempt to dish it out is broken up by Matt Gehrig. So David Chupp will dribble it across left to right on your radio into the quarter to Todd Moyer. Moyer comes out on the wing and now fires out on between the circles to Gehrig, who gives off to Frazier. Frazier steps back behind the arc, flat on the jumper, no good, but Moyer shoots across the key to get the rebound. Todd Moyer then starting to go make a cut. Matt Gehrig had already released the basketball, turnover Hilltop.
Yeah, Gehrig thought he was going to slip the pick and come back out to the corner. He guessed that he was going to do that, and instead he went through the pick, so turnover Hilltop, they're 5th.
David Chupp out of the lineup for the Hilltop Cadets. And coming in is Ty Krotzer back into the lineup. Also have a substitute in for the Archbold Blue Streaks. Tony Reimer in for brother Alex. Archbold has it, low square, Broadbeck. Broadbeck moves it out on top, dribble penetration. Sean Roth hangs, dishes off to Brian Asherman. And Asherman gets the little 5-footer to go from the baseline. It's 10-6 Blue Streaks.
Nice assist, Sean Roth dribbling right down in the middle, jumping it to Asherman on the right square.
Jason Myers from Israel Frazier. Now they'll move it right side to Todd Moyer. Krotzer calling for the basketball. Tony Reimer, excellent defense to get the takeaway. And then Jason Myers bumped Sean Roth, also got a little hand check. And from Myers, that's his second personal foul. So some early developments here going against the Hilltop Cadets. That's their 5th team foul and number 2 on Jason Myers. He will have to leave. Or is he staying in? Now he'll come out. Myers, Moyer, and Gehrig out. Nathan Gilker, Chad Axford, and also David Chupp into the lineup.
Hilltop playing very well. They're staying competitive, doing a very nice job.
10-6 Blue Streaks. High post, Tony Reimer sets up Sean Roth. He jacks up the 3, no good. Long rebound is grabbed by Ashelman, and then he loses it and has to save it. He does so. Zeb Schroeder, who has just checked in, has it. Schroeder dribble penetration and a reach called on Nathan Gilker. Gilker will pick up his first personal, and Heiss, we're at the 2-minute mark, and that is the 6th team foul against Hilltop. Something working against them right now. Seemingly every close call going against the red. Sean Roth, 12-foot floater from the baseline is short. Going up high for the rebound, David Chupp, and Chupp gives off to Axford. Axford between the circles on the dribble. Axford trying to go right, instead goes back left, fires it to Gilker, and then Gilker tried to force it into Israel Frazier. Good D by Brodbeck. 2-on-2 break. Sean Roth stops down low, and Chupp fouled him, and that will put Sean Roth on the free throw line, and they are really starting to mount up now.
And Sean Roth right now can't buy a basket. They're still playing very well.
That's the bonus now, Heiss. For the rest of this first quarter and the entire second quarter, Archbold will go to the free throw line on fouls.
And pretty fair to middle and free throw shooting team.
Easy for you to say.
Oh, what?
Rivalry weekend.
Yeah, yeah. I heard you this morning. You struggled with that a little. Oh, well.
In and out for Roth. He will get one more on the 2-shot foul. That one pulled up short. And tonight, here in the early portion of the game, just not Sean Roth's shooting night. Let's see if he can shoot himself out of it.
We've seen him get so hot in such a hurry.
10-6. Archbold on top of Hilltop. 90 seconds and counting to play here in the first quarter. Israel Frazier, wing right, wants to take Brodbeck, and as Heiss said, a mirror image right there, and he threw it away. Zeb Schroeder steps in front of David Chupp and got the turnover. Schroeder across the center circle to the left side to Ashelman, looking for his first shot of the night. Ashelman now to Schroeder out on top. He quickly circles it right to Roth. Roth penetrates, nice glass jumper, and it just would go. Heiss, every ounce of the rim it used, and it just would not drop for the young man.
He turned around and looked at Doug Kraus like, what the heck?
Axford now left side to Gilker. Quick hands of Roth. Did he save it? He almost came up with a save. He batted it off of Gilker, and it went out of bounds. He touched it before he got it off of his shoulder.
Well, he got away with a foul maybe there, climbing the Hilltop Cadet going after that basketball. Mr. Marquette, very kind to him there.
Still 10-6, Archbold. They've outscored, however, Hilltop in the last 4.5 minutes, 10-2. Hilltop jumped to a 4-0 early lead. Gehrig, again, wrong shoulder on the entry pass to Ty Krotzer, and Tony Reimer comes up with turnover number 9 on the night against the Hilltop Cadets. Now Brodbeck posting on Gilker. Jumper is short, rebounded Tony Reimer. His jumper is short off glass, or his follow-up jumper is short off glass. And Hilltop comes away with a rebound.
Archbold has 6 offensive rebounds, and none of them have turned into putbacks.
David Chupp to Gilker. Baseline left, sets up to the high post to Gehrig, and Gehrig is stripped by guess who? Keith Roth. Keith Roth, 1-on-3, doesn't have the numbers, and then they slack off, and he goes right by everybody and misses the chippy. Gilker the rebound, and a hold going to be called on Tony Reimer. Did you see the way Keith Roth just lulled all 3 of them to sleep?
Yep, he just took a little stutter step, a little change of speed dribble, and the Hilltop defense relaxed. Bam, he was by him for the layup, but he missed it.
7 seconds. Hilltop's got to hurry to get a shot away. Krotzer across the timeline down the left side. He's going to go. Nice pass to Gilker. Got it with a second to go. And Hilltop battles and hangs in that first quarter. Number 1 team in the state, Archbold, they lead the Hilltop Cadets through 1. 10-8. You're listening to high school boys basketball on WBNO Sports Favorites. 10-8 Archbold. Talk about the stat we're referring to.
10 turnovers for the Hilltop Cadets. Only 2 for Archbold. The difference in this quarter, the first quarter, was the fact that Archbold is just not shooting well. They're getting good shots. They're just not dropping. Maybe we credit Hilltop's defense for that a little bit because they're rattling around, falling out. Maybe they're getting a hand in their face.
Keith Roth, Zeb Schroeder, Corey Roofer now in the lineup. Tony Reimer and Sean Roth. for Archbold. We'll check Hilltop in a moment. Check that. That's Alex Reimer. Now Reimer will move it right side to Keith Roth. And again, that jumper is short. Rebounded by Schroeder. Hard working on the inside of Zeb Schroeder.
In the first offensive rebound and putback of the night, and that's their 7th offensive rebound.
12-8, and now Schroeder will commit the miscue, or do they call a walk?
I think they got a double dribble before the foul. Coach Brown might want to talk to Mr. Holman about that one.
The gentleman, John Holman, on the
gentleman, John Holman. And he is quite a gentleman.
12-8. Archbold with the lead. We are just underway, second quarter. Andy Briggle, Rick Eisler, glad you've tagged along here tonight. Hilltop creates turnover number 3, and then they will give it back. They knock it out of bounds, Chad Axford does. Maybe didn't have possession to...
Well, that's a scoring, decision there. But you got to give turnover to both of them then if you do that.
Keith Roth at the high post. Nice pick and roll. Give it right back to Alex Reimer, and he finishes with the field goal. He has 8 on the night, and it's 14-8 Archbold. Here comes the wave of Archbold pressure now. Chup ahead in the backcourt to Axford. Nice diagonal look to Frazier on the left side of the floor. He's fouled. Actually, the better word is hammered by Keith Roth. And Israel Frazier will now step up to the free throw line.
He was hammered, and it didn't affect him much. It didn't move him much. Frazier, a big, strong kid at 6'2".
That'll be number 1 against Keith Roth, the team's 3rd on the evening. He went back to the ice-cold shooting here in the early portion of the game, except for Alex Reimer. He's the only one really red hot right now with 8 points. And you look at a kid, let's say, for example, Sean Roth. He's had some looks, and he's done everything right. Mechanics are right. This is the same guy who's the second leading scorer on the team. It's just they've just fallen in and out for him for the most part.
Sometimes it's just not a matter of skill. Sometimes just a matter of getting the right roll, the right drop.
Frazier missed both of them, and now Archbold quickly the other way. Reimer the fall away, no good. Rebounded by Schroeder, but again he's working hard, and he is fouled. John Holman right there on the call. That'll go against Nathan Gilker. Gilker has just picked up number 2, and he will stay into the lineup as there's a sub in for Hilltop. Chad Axford sits down. Todd Moyer in, the 6-foot junior.
And what a 6th man Schroeder is. He can play guard, he can play forward. Against smaller teams, I imagine he could post up and play a little center. He's a strong kid.
Schroeder buries the first free throw to make it 15-8 Archbold. Hilltop, for the most part, a junior-dominated team. 5 of the 9 will be back next year for Steve Brown. Check that, 5 of the 8 will be back. The top 8 on the varsity roster. It's 16-8 now. Archbold has doubled up on them. This is their biggest lead of the night. Into the front court now. Matt Axford down low to Gilker. Turn around, no good. That was over Corey Rufer. Outlet pass quickly. 3-on-1 break. Roth goes to the left side and takes it up strong and got the field goal. It's now 18-8. Steve Brown wants a timeout. 6:29 to play, second quarter. 18-8 Archbold. We're back in just a moment.
Bury people, and they haven't buried Hilltop, but one of those strong, quick runs out of their strong rebounding and strong pressure defense.
So basically, they're strong.
Yeah.
Hilltop's basketball, that's why they're 13-0.
You think?
Hilltop's basketball left to right on your radio, and for the first time, they have a little problem moving it up against the Archbold pressure. Frazier has it left side, down low to Chup, who will hand it off to Krotzer, and that will end the 8-0 run. And I'd say that's pretty good execution out of the timeout.
Very good execution in the press breaker and getting down into their secondary press breaker and making the shot.
18-10, Schroeder circles it out on top to Sean Roth. Roth guarded by Chup, got a pick. Will try to use it, instead drops the bouncer down low, and a foul called as Alex Reimer was going to his move. A triangle of Hilltop cadets surrounded him. Let's see who they got it on. It's going to go against Ty Krotzer, and that's his second. Brian Ashelman returns to Doug Krause's lineup for Zeb Schroeder. Alex Reimer played well here tonight. If he gets both of these, he will go to double figures.
And Schroeder gets a nice round of applause from the Archbold faithful. Well-deserved. He played well in his stint.
Reimer hits the first. He has 9, and the score is now 9-point deficit for Hilltop, 19-10. Zeb Schroeder, just a hard-working kid on the inside. And we talk about predominantly junior team for Hilltop as Reimer cans them both, and he's into doubles. Archbold, on the other hand, a predominantly senior team. In fact, Zeb Schroeder, the only junior on the roster. Chupp ahead across the timeline to Israel Frazier. Frazier back to Chupp, now to Matt Gehrig. Gehrig doesn't look to shoot, now will dribble to the baseline, but will try one on the baseline against the double team, no good. Off a couple of Archbold hands, winds up into the hands of Ty Krotzer, and he gets the follow. It's 20-12 Blue Streaks.
Good hustle on the boards, Krotzer.
Brian Asherman got a pick, will use it for three, and that one was short. Archbold continues to struggle from the perimeter right now, but they're still enjoying an 8-point lead. Frazier hands off, now to Matt Gehrig. Gehrig, left side to Chupp in the corner. Chupp will gives it to the wing to Todd Moyer. Moyer out on top now to Matt Gehrig. Archbold has stayed in that man-to-man, as has the Hilltop Cadets. Now with the basketball is David Chupp, moving it right side to Ty Krotzer. Baseline right to Todd Moyer. Moyer wanting to go against Sean Roth. He traveled with it.
Dragged his pivot foot. I think he was looking for a pass, and Archbold Blue Streak jumped in the passing lane, and he tried to hold it back. Dragged his pivot foot. Turnover number 12.
To match what they have point-wise on the board, and yet they're only down 8, Heiss.
No, I'm impressed with the way Hilltop's playing so far. They eliminate the turnovers, and this is a tie ball game or a lead for them.
Keith Roth out on top again. Strong post move down low. Alex Reimer, and he is playing enraged tonight. A nice turnaround jumper on the baseline, and Ty Krotzer has his hands full right now. They're trying to answer the other way is Israel Frazier off the left side. No. Rebounded by Reimer. Outlet to Asherman, who will try to lob it up for Keith Roth, and they just weren't on the same page that time, Heiss.
Well, Keith's 5'9". He's not 6'4", and Keith had no chance of catching that.
22-12. Archbold out in front by 10. Hilltop has the basketball. We're approaching the halfway point of the first half. Brian Ashelman deflects the Jason Myers pass out of bounds. It will stay with the Cadets. Right at midcourt, Myers triggers in the backcourt to Matt Gehrig. Gehrig across the timeline into the front court against Keith Roth. He will try to throw the bouncer to Moyer. Quick hands of Roth will intercept it. 2-on-2 break. Roth, strong move, goes left, goes right, a little shake and bake, and Archbold again has doubled up on Hilltop, and they are now on top by the biggest lead at 24-12, and another turnover is forced by Ashelman in the front court. Ashelman batted it to Broadbeck, who gave it off quickly to Keith Roth. Roth again, the penetration sets up Ashelman behind the arc. Now to Broadbeck at the foul line. Couple dribbles, uses the left hand and lays it up and in. And Steve Brown is going to use another timeout in the span of 3 minutes before this one gets ugly. 3:47 to play first half. Archbold 26, Hilltop 12. We'll be back to Archbold in a moment. After an 8-0 run for an encore, you go on an 8-2 run in a 16-2 second quarter right now, and Hilltop has fallen behind by 14.
Steve Brown's still working hard. The Hilltop Cadets are still working hard. They're not going to quit. They'll still keep battling.
Todd Moyer from Jason Myers, and now Moyer will hand it off to Frazier on the right side. Circling left now to Myers, baseline left back to Todd Moyer. Moyer runs through and then spins to take a shot, no good. Alex Reimer goes up high for the rebound, and he will wait for a guard and gets help from Keith Roth. Roth sets up the Archbold attack. The quarterback of this offense to Ashelman. Now down low on the low square, right side to Alex Reimer. Kick out, and Brian Ashelman, their first three on the night, and it's 29-12. Who'd have thought that, Heiss?
Yeah.
That proves right there, I guess, when a stereotype of Archbold is the three-point offense. And here they have one tonight. Their first comes at just before the 3-minute mark of the second quarter, and they're still up 17 as Ty Krotzer has just picked up number 3.
I believe
Jason Myers has just picked up number 3. 29-12, Archbold with the lead. And you are right, Myers will sit. Krotzer sits, and Matt Gehrig will go to the bench as well. Chad Axford, Nathan Gilker, and David Chupp back in. Free throw from Sean Roth is up and good, and it's now 30-12 Archbold.
And he breaks the ice, and it's kind of a sigh of relief from Sean Roth. Geez, it will go in.
And he got both of them to go, 2 in a row, and it's now 31-12. Here comes another variation of the Archbold pressure defense. Frazier receives the inbounds pass, splits a double team, throws it ahead diagonally to Todd Moyer. Moyer's in the front court safely. He goes down to the wing right side. Nice cut, and Chupp fouled by Kyle Broadbeck. Good court awareness, too, by Todd Moyer to find the cutting Dave Chupp.
Yeah, Trailer coming through in the secondary press breaker, and had a nice move. Blocked and fouled by Broadbeck.
David Chupp now to shoot a couple with 2:50 remaining here in the first half. Chupp eyes and flies and is off with that first toss. He will get one more.
Maybe for the listeners that don't understand the secondary press breaker, usually what you do is once you break the press, you have a cut or two out of the press to look for a basket to try to burn it. If not, you back it out and go into your offense. It's called your secondary press breaker.
0 for 2, and that will translate into a 3-ball the other way from Sean Roth. And again, he pulls up short. Chad Axford comes away with the Archbold rebound, and he's across the timeline now. Nice fake move to the left, comes back to the right, goes glass jumper, no good. Alex Reimer, another rebound, outlet ahead to Keith Roth, sideline right. Roth pulls out and goes to Sean Roth. Now out on top, we'll give right back to cousin Keith. Got a pick from Sean Roth. Elbow extended jumper on the right side is good from 17. And Hilltop is really starting to feel the heat now. Archbold has built a 33-12 lead. Nathan Gilker ahead to Chad Axford. Now to Frazier on the left side. Frazier wanted to go to Axford, and instead nobody picked him up, so he goes around. Everybody on the baseline, no. Moyer keeps it alive to David Chupp. Chupp out on top to Axford. His dribble penetration will be stopped, and now it's Moyer who will jack up a three. Rattles around the iron and won't go. Rebounded, and now a 3-on-1 break. Sean Roth takes it strong to the goal, and he misses. And now it's Moyer the other way for Hilltop, and he loses the dribble out of bounds, but it was knocked away by Brian Ashman. Are we going to get an overrule? I believe we may see an overrule. Yep, we're going to see an overrule. Archbold will get the basketball.
So another turnover for the Hilltop Cadets. Now, Sean Roth frustrated because he's not shooting well, but he's done some other things. He's done some intangibles. He's gotten some rebounds. He's gotten some assists, and he just set a nice pick for his cousin Keith to get off of the shot earlier.
1:35 and counting to play here in the first half. Alex Reimer fouled by David Chupp on the inside, and again that entry pass from the perimeter is there all night to Alex Reimer, Heiss.
They're just, I don't think you can man up with the people that Hilltop have. You can't just man up. You can't get in denial. You're going to have to get double downs, and then if you do that, Archibald's so tough from the outside. So what do? It's a dilemma.
Bet you wish you were still around, hanging around coaching and tried to come up with a scheme against this bunch, huh?
No, not tonight.
Oh, okay. 34-12 as Reimer rattles in that first free throw. Second one, he'll bang in as well, and it's now 35-12.
14 for Alex Reimer.
Strong night tonight for Alex Reimer. He will sit down along with Brodbeck and Sean Roth. Sean, as we mentioned, has had a rough night shooting, but he continues to work. Zeb Schroeder, Tony Reimer, and Corey Rufer will come into the lineup for Doug Kraus. Matt Gehrig to Nathan Gilker on the left side. Gilker trying to back it out, does so to Chad Axford. Now Axford being guarded by Brad Meyer, who has also entered the lineup. He will shoot it out on top to Gehrig, to Chupp, down low, forced pass. Rufer comes up with the steal. And as he hits the deck hard, a foul going to be called on Nathan Gilker over the top ice.
Yeah, they tried to dump it down to Gilker on the square, and Rufer very quick in his denial and got there before the ball drew the foul.
That's number 3 now on Nathan Gilker. Corey Rufer will now walk to the free throw line. 6'4" senior. And he hits the first free throw to extend to a 36-12 Archbold lead. Well, we saw some promise in that first quarter, Heiss, but 2 patented runs as Rufer's second free throw goes in and out. And then Brad Meyer gets on Israel Frazier's back. That's Meyer's first for the Archbold Blue Streaks. 26-4, second quarter thus far.
Well, yeah, and I don't want to be any way critical of Hilltop. I think they're just a little outmanned with the talent of the Archbold Blue Streaks, and they're not alone in that department.
Nathan Gilker gets it on the baseline. Tony Reimer comes up with a block. Nice job of avoiding the foul as well. Now Asherman ahead on setting up Schroeder for 3. Long rebound will carry him all the way out to Schroeder. Now it's Meyer's turn to 3. No good. Schroeder will get it, set it back up for Asherman. That young man just has a great-looking stroke from behind anywhere on the floor.
Where did we see him one night? He hit 5 in a row and just broke someone's back. One of the games that we did.
39-12 now is the score with 28 seconds to play. Jump ball as Axford got it. He and Brian Ashelman were tied up, and it will belong to Hilltop. David Chupp will try to trigger in, and he does so to Axford with 25 seconds to play here in the first half. Schroeder denying it, touched it last, trying to keep it away from Nathan Gilker. And as it rolls out of bounds, Hilltop will get it again with 22 on the first half clock.
They found something wrong with Archbold. Schroeder reached with the wrong hand that time. Boy, they're playing well.
You really have to look.
You have to really search.
Axford out on top to Gehrig. He'll hoist a three. No. Tony Reimer, the strong rebound for Archbold. The Reimer brothers playing well on the glass tonight. 7 seconds. Asherman again, the threat of the three, opens it up for Rufer down low, and that will do it. That will salt away one of the best 8 minutes of basketball you will see as the Archbold Blue Streaks up 10-8 after one. Outscore Hilltop 31-4 in that second quarter to lead comfortably at halftime, 41-12. We'll be back. Halftime activities get underway in a moment. You're listening to high school boys basketball on WBNO.
Expense, and Hilltop is not rolling over. They're playing hard. They're trying, and it's just been to Archbold's advantage.
Archbold will get the basketball first as we begin the third quarter. The original five will start. Alex Reimer, Kyle Brodebeck, Sean and Keith Roth, and Brian Asherman. And Asherman has it right now between the circles, left side to Sean Roth. Roth sets up Brodebeck out on top. Now to Brian Asherman on the right side. Asherman guarded by David Chupp. We'll check Hilltop's lineup in just a moment. Cadets open man-to-man. 41-12, we're just underway. Brodebeck got it down low, and then he'll dish it right back out. Keith Roth sets himself up for a 12-foot jumper off the dribble and buries it to make it 43-12. And Keith Roth now into doubles with 10 on the night.
Nice jump stop jumper, nice execution. Archbold running their offense.
Matt Gehrig, Jason Myers, David Chupp, Israel Frazier, who has it now, works, shoots over Brodebeck. Good screen by Brodebeck on the miss. And the final starter is Ty Krotzer, the original five for Hilltop. Asherman trying to get it inside, went to the wrong shoulder to get it to Alex Reimer. It's broken up by Ty Krotzer and will scurry out of bounds and belong to the Blue Streaks. Touched last by, I believe, David Chupp.
Box out of bounds by Archbold.
Hilltop mans out of it, and a travel is called on Sean Roth.
And that's Sean Roth's luck, isn't it? He comes off that double pick for him, and he shoots a nice glass jumper, and it bottoms, and they call a walk. That's the way his night's gone.
But he will trade it all in for an Archbold W. And right now it looks to be pretty imminent, 43-12. Frazier drives, and he is hacked going up with it. Actually, he was hacked while he was in the air, and that'll go against Alex Reimer. Reimer picks up number 2 on the evening, and Israel Frazier will now walk to the free throw line. Such a promising beginning tonight for Hilltop Ice. Played well in that first quarter. They did have some turnovers, but had fought through them and were down only 2 going into quarter number 2. And successive runs by the Archbold Blue Streaks pretty well just deflated Hilltop and their hopes.
Archbold famous and or infamous for those runs. Offensive rebound miss.
No good from Frazier, the free throw, and as you said, Jason Myers, they missed the other way, and Brian Asherman drops it left side to Sean Roth. If Roth can't hit from the perimeter, he's going to get out into the fast break and finish a few, and it's now 45-12. The first 4 of this half belong to Archbold.
Nice use of the left hand by Sean Roth.
Gehrig down low to Krotzer, who will kick out to Myers, who will try a 3. That's no good. Myers tries to save, and in doing so, touches the out-of-bounds line, so it'll go over to the Archbold Blue Streaks with 6:28 to play here in the first half. See Jeff Spalding, among others, here in the crowd tonight. Jeff and his North Central Eagles will take on Hilltop Friday nights in the Buckeye Border Conference. Hilltop still entertaining hopes at catching Fayette. They're out 2 right now. 3 ball on the way from Roth left side, no good. And the rebound goes to Jason Myers. Myers down the left side, Hilltop going right to left, as we said on your radio in this half. Chupp takes his eye off of it and then regains into the hands of Myers. Down low to David Chupp, and he's fouled by Kyle Brodebeck going up to the rim with it. And that'll put David Chupp now on the free throw line.
Hilltop not quitting. They're going at it. They're executing their offense, and I'm sure that's something the coach talked about. Let's execute. Let's continue to play.
Brodebeck's second foul on the night. Chupp will get 2. He releases the first and buries it. It's 45-13.
And that makes Hilltop 1 for 7 at the foul line.
Second one for Chupp is airborne. Is short, won't roll in, and make it 1 of 8. Outlet pass to Brian Ashelman. Ashelman gets inside, sets up Roth. 3-ball side pocket is good. Sean Roth finally got one to go, and that rotation looked exactly like the first ones.
It's just a matter sometimes, maybe he's holding his mouth wrong. I say that facetiously, but there are just some times when it doesn't happen for you.
Offensive foul is going to be called, an illegal screen against Matt Gehrig of the Hilltop Cadets.
His first.
48-13 Archbold. They have the basketball, and we have 5.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Roth left side to Brodbeck. Cutting through is Ashelman, and he can't get it to go from in close. Rebounded by the Cadets. Gehrig the other way in transition. Left-handed bouncer to Chupp, taken away by Ashelman. Ahead now to Keith Roth, left side. Roth avoids the contact of one Cadet and then is hammered by David Chupp. And Keith Roth will now go to the free throw line.
That's Chupp's third.
You know what? I think we alluded to this, or I alluded to this earlier this season. I think in the Fairview game, that was our first look at Archbold this year, how much Keith Roth's just a different player from last year. To me, he has bulked up some, I think.
I think in general, the entire Archbold team has bulked up. I think Brodbeck looks larger than he did last year. And
that's scary.
Yeah, I know it. He was a big kid last year. Oh, well, there's Mr. Selgo.
49-13 and make it 50-13 as the Blue Streaks connect on that free throw. And
thank you, sir.
We have 5:15 to play in the third quarter.
And as we said, no press by Archbold.
Matt Gehrig down low to Ty Krotzer. Krotzer wanted to go across the key to Israel Frazier and lost control, and now the Blue Streaks will get it back. Brodbeck, good spin move, left it short though. Frazier clears for the Cadets. He will bring it up himself because Keith Roth was denying the basketball to Matt Gehrig, and now Gehrig will get it from Frazier. He will circle it right to Jason Myers. Myers out on top will loft it to David Chupp. 4:45 remaining here in the third quarter. Now it's Israel Frazier. Frazier has his pass broken up. It's batted right back to him, so he will take the right elbow jumper and can it. It's 50-15.
Frazier's first field goal on the night, Andy, and I think that speaks well of Archibald's interior defense.
Brian Ashelman to Keith Roth. Wide open down low is Kyle Brodbeck, and again fading and missing. Reimer the rebound. Did he push off to get it? Yes, he did.
And it'll be 3 on Reimer. Nice job of positioning by the Hilltop Cadets.
You're Steve Brown. You're the Hilltop Cadets right now. Is this a throwaway game?
No, well, he's going to teach the entire game.
No, I mean later. I mean, is
oh, yeah, this means nothing.
50-15, Frazier, good pass on the baseline to Jason Myers, and he leaves it short. And now Hilltop's shooting woes continue. 8 points in the first quarter. Since that time, and we have played a quarter and a half, they've been only able to muster 7. Archbold defense clamping down on them. Keith Roth to the right side on the wing to Reimer. Reimer now to Brodbeck. He's trying to get that shot going on the baseline. No good. Nobody put a body on Brian Ashelman. He snuck in backside and got the bucket. He's into double figures now with 10, and it's 52-15. That's 3 for Archbold into double figures. Frazier to Chupp, wing left. David Chupp trying to use a screen, gets around everyone, and then sets up Gehrig for the three-pointer. No good. Alex Reimer the rebound, outlet ahead to Keith Roth. Roth wraps it around and got the field goal to Kyle Brodbeck. Brodbeck will go to the free throw line. Keith Roth wrapped it around David Chupp's ear. Nice. and able to finish was Kyle Brodbeck.
Nice pass, beautiful pass. I'm not sure we can describe it well enough here on the radio, but a very athletic pass. And the foul goes against 51. It's got to be 15, and that's his 4th. Jason Myers, his 4th.
51 was shooting the free throws, and that was Kyle Brodbeck. He will exit, and Tony Reimer's in there now. The three-point play complete, and it's now 55-15.
Well, I'm not sure on the foul situation.
And I don't think the officials are, really.
No,
Heiss, we're seeing the experimentation right now of the 3 officials. Really haven't been able to get a good gauge of it right now, and because of the way the game has sort of flowed along. But for the most part, I guess, generally speaking, they've done a pretty good job. And
yeah.
I think I'm going to like this, to be honest with you.
They've done fine. There hasn't been much of a half-court offense for either team, really, to really see how they're going to do in the open floor. You know, it's a little different situation. Ashelman comes out to a nice round of applause. Yeah, they've done fine.
Chad Axford to the right side to Jason Myers. Myers to David Chupp. Frazier and Krotzer, the other two cadets. Scoop shot on the drive by Chupp. Got his own rebound after the miss. Double teamed, and then taking it away is Keith Roth. Roth with those quick hands. Out ahead to Sean Roth. Stops on the left side and scores from down low, and it's 57-15. A 16-3 start here to this third quarter. Actually, it's more than halfway over, as we are now under 3 minutes and another turnover. Zeb Schroeder had it for a moment for Archbold and then was forced to leave it alone as Reimer picks it up, and then Schroeder throws it away. A rare Archbold miscue tonight.
Only their fifth.
Ty Krotzer in their half-court set now to David Chupp. Fakes the three, instead goes baseline to Israel Frazier. Frazier trying to spin on Schroeder, and Schroeder stops him. Now cutting to the bucket is Chupp. Chupp tried to make a pass diagonally, broke it up. Here come the Blue Streaks after another turnover. Down the sideline left is Keith Roth. He stops behind the arc. Now will stop on the left elbow off the dribble penetration. Absolutely wide open, and he fills it. It's 59-15. Timeout on the floor. Hilltop, 2:18 to play here in the third quarter. It's all Archbold. They lead it 59-15.
Accent the beauty of your home with a installation, 400 pounds of salt, the metered valve, 10 years of free service calls, limited lifetime warranty, money-back guarantee if not completely satisfied. 1-800-547-2453, 737-2206.
Matt Axford, I believe I've been calling Matt Axford. I apologize. I believe I've said Chad on a number of occasions here tonight. It is Matt Axford. He just got a field goal to end the run. Zeb Schroeder will answer at the offensive end for the Archbold Blue Streaks, and it's after a trading of buckets. It's now 61-17 Archbold. My apologies to Matt Axford. And now Zeb Schroeder comes up with another takeaway from Matt Axford, and he will give it back off the double dribble. He and Doug Kraus sort of chuckling after that. Well, Archbold on their way to a 14-0 overall mark. Hilltop will drop to 5-6. The league games coming up Fridays, we've already mentioned. Archbold at Patrick Henry. We'll talk about Hilltop as we get into the fourth quarter. Matt Axford to the right side is now it's Moyer on the drive into the paint. The runner is no good. And Israel Frazier got the rebound. He misses the follow-up, and a strong rebound is grabbed by Tony Reimer. Reimer gives it off to Keith Roth. Roth lofts it ahead now to Zeb Schroeder. Schroeder wanted to get it down low. It wasn't there. Instead, it's to Keith Roth out on top. Now Schroeder will try a three ball. It's short. Rebounded by the Hilltop Cadets and then taken back by the Archbold Blue Streaks, and it was Tony Reimer. Knocked out of bounds, and the Blue Streaks will maintain possession. Baseline on the right side. Back door all alone. Tony Reimer from Keith Roth.
Somebody went to sleep defensively there for Hilltop.
63-17 as we go under a minute. We're at the 45-second mark to be exact. Matt Axford. Bouncer now to the right side to Israel Frazier. Frazier spins out of trouble to Krotzer. Now to Matt Axford. Just to the left. Now to the wing. Down low. On the pass to Nathan Gilker. Intercepted by Keith Roth. Out ahead to Tony Reimer. And another lay-in. And it's 65-17.
You okay, Andy?
20 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Matt Axford off of a pick from Ty Krotzer. Krotzer then rolls to the bucket and knocked away. It'll stay right there with the red.
Near steal by Tony Reimer. Good hustle in the defense, jumping to the passing lane.
Final 15 seconds. David Chupp in for Hilltop, and Israel Frazier will leave. Moyer. Bounce pass into Axford on the right side. Cutting through is Gilker. Gilker loses it out of bounds. Had it maybe stripped away. I think Rufer got a hand in there. And that leaves 11 seconds for Archbold to get a shot away. Keith Roth across the center circle. 7 seconds. 6 seconds. He will give it off now to Brad Meyer. Meyer going around, and he carried it. Trying to circle on the dribble to the right side. He called for a carry with 2 seconds to play here in the third period. Krotzer, the inbounds pass. Axford, three-quarter court shot. Off the window, no. And that'll do it for the third quarter. Archbold extends their halftime advantage. Your score through three. The Blue Streak 65. 65, the Hilltop Cadets 17. You're listening to high school boys basketball on WBNO.
Call Bryan Truck Line now at 1-800-745-4473. Write it down, 1-800-745-4473. It's a free call that could end up paying you big dividends.
65-20, make it 67-20 as Chad Axford hit the field goal for the Hilltop Cadets. And Corey Rufer bottoms one for the Archbold Blue Streaks to make it a 67-20 game. Now it's Todd Moyer on the right side with the basketball. Hilltop right to left in possession. Jumper from 17. Axford again from Matt Axford. No good. The follow by Todd Moyer is off the mark, and Corey Rufer gets the rebound for the Archbold Blue Streaks. Rufer gives off to Brian Ashelman. Ashelman now into the corner to Brad Meyer. Meyer's pass down low is broken up by Gilker. He'll get it right back as it ends up in his hands. Now it's to Ashelman to Zeb Schroeder. Schroeder backdoor to Rufer, off glass and in. Good court vision by Zeb Schroeder and a nice finish by Corey Rufer.
And 7 for Corey Rufer on a set play. Nice pass and good power up off glass.
69-20. To the right side to Todd Moyer now. Moyer gets it into Krotzer, and Krotzer has hammered it. He was going to the glass. That's going to be whistled against Tony Reimer. So Ty Krotzer will shoot a couple free throws now with 6:29 remaining in the contest.
Nice strong move by Krotzer to the basket. Denied by Reimer on the foul.
Jason Myers gets back into the lineup for Steve Brown. Well, when I talked with Steve earlier today, he talked about we're going to go over there, we're going to roll the dice, we're going to give it our best shot, and we'll see what happens. If we come out on an end of the stick like tonight, we'll just chalk it up to a learning experience. So the right mental attitude coming over here.
Yeah, the kids were prepared to play. They came out early and played very well.
2 for 2 for Ty Krotzer. It's now 69-22. Right side, Rufer. Rufer cross court, skip pass to Brian Ashelman. Ashelman now to Schroeder between the circles. Now to the left of the circle, guarded by Myers. Coming to help out is Brad Meyer. Pass down low to Tony Reimer. Duck under move is short. Tries to stay with it and get his own rebound and is going to be whistled for his third foul.
Missed the shot, tried to make up for it, climbed it back. Nice job of positioning by Hilltop Cadet. Chris Volkman entering the ball game.
Chris Volkman, a 5'9" sophomore, and Brian Ashelman will sit down. I expect we're going to see some of that, Heiss. Some of the substituting here in the fourth quarter. 3 ball from the left side in the corner, and it's good for Todd Moyer. Moyer has brought Hilltop up to 25 now with 69-25 with 5:45 remaining in the contest. Schroeder bounce pass left side to Brad Meyer. His defender falls down. That was Corey Miller. Meyer's shot is short. Ball loose. Miller with it. Traveled with it. And that'll give it right back to Archbold. Corey Miller, who is in for Steve Brown and the Hilltop Cadets, a 6'1" junior who is splitting time right now. Greg Gable now will check in for the Hilltop Cadets. Gable is a 6' sophomore. Archbold inbounds pass comes to Volkman. Volkman between the circles, left side almost intercepted by Moyer, but Schroeder does get it, goes to the goal strong, no good. Follow up by Rufer, no good. Ball is tipped out and Moyer has it, starting a break for Hilltop. Moyer has to avoid Volkman, shot won't go. Rufer the rebound, and he's fouled from behind by Corey Miller.
I think they're going to get Rufer over the top, Andy.
Yep, check that. It's going to go against Rufer and not against Miller. Thought they were pointing to the red, so it'll be team foul number 6 of this half against the Blue Streaks. Number 1 against Rufer. Todd Moyer triggers in now to Gable. Greg Gable off the dribble, shoots on the right side and got it. So the sophomore with some points off the bench to make it 69-27 now.
Good looking jump shot by Greg Gable on the right wing from about 12.
Volkman, his pass is almost intercepted by Myers, and then it was touched last by Tony Reimer of the Archbold Blue Streaks. Cadets will get another possession. This is the first of 4 on WBNO Sports this week. Thursday night, we will kick off rivalry weekend as the Bryan Golden Bears travel to Montpelier in girls hoops. Gable fouled from behind by Schroeder on a reach. That defensive trip for the first time tonight. Archbold went 2-3 zone.
And no starters in for Archbold. I would assume that they're done for the night. Schroeder picks up his first foul.
Greg Gable will now shoot 2 free throws for the Hilltop Cadets. Friday nights, the rivalry continues on the boys' side as Montpelier trying to bounce back from the Eden loss Saturday. They will travel to Bryan. And Gable's second offering is good to make it 69-29. Saturday night, we'll finish it off with Eden at Edgerton. The 49 rivalry. You played and coached in that one, Heist.
Yes, I did. Enjoyed every minute of it, too.
Coached in the Montpelier-Bryan one. Which one is more intense?
The rivalry?
Yep. Eden-Edgerton, Montpelier-Bryan.
I think Eden-Edgerton, because I think Eden-Edgerton is a rivalry on both sides. I'm not sure that Bryan really considers Montpelier a rivalry in basketball. I think they consider Fairview more of a rivalry in basketball than they do Montpelier.
Archbold with the possession. The drive by Schroeder, blocked by Moyer to start a break. Here comes Corey Miller. Schroeder wants to get help from behind, and a little fake move has threw Corey Miller off stride that time, Heist.
Yep.
Didn't go for the block shot, just kind of fake going after it, and that threw Miller off stride of the miss, and now Archbold comes back the other way. Three-pointer from Meyer is up, and it's off target. Going to be touched last by Volkman as he swatted down on it.
Now, Mr. Holman, they're very kind. He just gave Hilltop the ball instead of calling a foul on Volkman.
So Hilltop will get possession as Zeb Schroeder will sit down. So the sixth man's night is done.
And we don't have a number on the Archbold blue streak that is entered.
Gable's jumper for 2 is off the mark from the top. Rebounded by Brad Meyer. Meyer has it knocked away by Corey Miller of the Hilltop Cadets. And it's 3:49 time remaining in the contest. Another substitute in is going to be Nathan Gilker. Gilker's in for Jason Myers as Myers will sit down. Gilker goes immediately to the low post. Brad Meyer triggers in now to Volkman. Chris Volkman across the timeline. Heiss.
Tad Ashelman is the sub for Archbold, number 23.
And
just takes a jump shot and buries it. Right elbow, bottomed it.
We picked the right time to figure out who he was.
I think a youngster here from Archbold, I asked him, and he was kind enough to tell me.
71-29 now. Moyer to try to answer for 3. Off the back of the iron, no. Roofer the rebound for the Blue Streaks. Roofer now to Brad Meyer down the right side. Left to right. Meyer inside move as he splits the double team. No good. Rebounded by Gilker. Gilker the outlet now to Matt Gehrig. Gehrig the right side to Todd Moyer. Moyer right elbow jumper is short. And grabbing that rebound is Chris Volkman as we are about to go under 3 minutes to play in the contest. 71-29. Archbold will now be 14-0 on the season with Patrick Henry coming up on Friday nights. Roofer going to his offensive move was held. Foul is going to go on Corey Miller. Miller picks up his first on the evening. And that's the team's 4th. Volkman now to bring it in for the Blue Streaks under his own hoop left side. He does so to Corey Roofer. Roofer circling out and gets it to Tad Ashelman. Ashelman penetrates and then backs out. Hands it off now to the left side, and now trying to drive on the dribble is Chris Volkman. And it's swatted out of bounds. It'll stay right there with 2:37 remaining.
Swatted out of bounds by Matt Gehrig.
Trigger man will be Volkman, and he gets it in. And then losing it is Tad Ashelman. He tries to save, and he does so to Brad Meyer. Meyer out on top to Corey Roofer. Roofer being guarded by Greg Gable. Posting is Tony Reimer. He's unable to get the basketball, and then Meyer goes to the bucket, and off the loose ball. Look who's there to clean it up. Tony Reimer, and he has 6 on the night. And it's 73-29 Blue Streaks, almost at their offensive average. As we said, this is the #1 scoring offense in the NWOAL. Moyer the other way, baseline floater, no good. And they do it at the defensive end as well. And giving up 51 a game, this isn't going to hurt that average.
That's going to help that average a great deal.
Volkman out on top for the Blue Streaks.
Hilltop has all non-starters in but Gehrig, and that's only because there are only 4 people on the Hilltop bench at this point.
Jumper from Tony Reimer is off the mark. Rebounded by the Cadets. Moyer down the right side to Corey Miller with 1:35 remaining. Gable spots and shoots for 3, short. And the rebound is grabbed by Chris Volkman. Volkman loses it, but there to pick it up is Corey Rufer in the front court. Rufer to Volkman, now to Brad Meyer. Meyer baseline drive, muscles it up, no. Tipped out by Nathan Gilker for Hilltop. Ball will bounce into row number 2 here on the near side. And it will belong to Hilltop as Matt Axford is back into the lineup. Todd Moyer will sit down probably for the rest of the night. Well, we told you we'd talk a little bit about Hilltop's matchup. We mentioned Archbold at Patrick Henry. Hilltop has a rematch now with North Central. They got him at home. And that was one that went right down to the buzzer, Heis, if you remember. Chris Fiddler, a big-time shot. Hilltop was able to answer and put him away. Now they got to go over to Pioneer and get a win. And Hilltop is still entertaining some thoughts of a BBC title. They're going to need some help. They're trailing Fayette by 2 games, so they really can ill afford any more losses. Friday night becomes a big win, and they're going to have to just erase this one from their memory.
Yeah, and a little controversy at the end of that ball game at Hilltop. A call by an official, one of those that could have gone either way, and it went against North Central. I mean, from our vantage point, anyhow, it looked like it could have gone either way. A charge that the ball actually went in, and North Central would have won in regulation, but the referee waved it off. And so some controversy there as Axford hits the first of 2.
Corey Rufer was whistled for that personal foul with exactly a minute to play, and Matt Axford bottoms both of them to make it 73-31. Just wasn't meant to be tonight for the Hilltop Cadets, as clearly Archbold in another league.
Well,
they are in another league on most nights.
Hilltop, you have this consolation. Archbold's not in your sectional.
Steal by Corey Miller for Hilltop with 40 seconds. Miller cross court, threw it away, and he tried to hit a cutting Matt Gehrig. Is it safe on a guess that Archbold's going to be playing for the 1 seed?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a given at this point.
Quick hands by Miller. Again, another takeaway, this time from Brad Meyer for Hilltop. Greg Gable will give it right back as play gets a little ragged here in the final 30 seconds. With a lot of fresh faces on the floor. Meyer fouled by Miller as he was going to his move. That's number 2 on Corey Miller. It'll be out of bounds to the Archbold Blue Streaks with 20 seconds to play. Hope to talk with Doug Kraus in our post-game rundown. We'll quickly run through the final numbers of this one and get you to the scoreboard. Show a condensed version tonight. 3-pointer on the way and off the mark from Brad Meyer. Rebound Rufer. Meyer wants it again. He will drive around. Miller laid up softly over the iron and in. And that should complete the scoring for the night, at least for the Blue Streaks. Hilltop will have one last look. 1 second. Got it. Matt Axford's 3-point runner is good. And your final score here tonight. Archbold, after a closely contested first quarter, big after that as they defeat Hilltop tonight, 75-34. Archbold now 14-0. Hilltop falls to 5-6.